What's up, y'all? It's your girl Melissa Renee with bellamanda.com, and I got something to say real quick. So one thing I want to say first and address is the fact that a lot of things that happen to us in our lives, especially when we become adults and we're in adulthood, is a reflection of our decisions and our choices and our mentality, what we choose to stew in, how we choose to think, what we choose to believe, the actions or inactions that we take or don't. So the topic I want to talk about is the strong friend. The strong friend that's been labeled to have to endure and take everybody's issues and have to feel like they have to be accommodating to people, be the strong one, be there for your the bad times, your good times, your indifferent times. And I'm seeing this a lot lately where I'm seeing people, a recent post that, young lady expresses how she's always have to be there. It's draining and she doesn't have people there for her, the strong friend. And I believe that the strong friend has metamorphed into a way, once again, that we don't like to take accountability for our actions or inaction. I don't know if people ever saw my video. You could go back and see where I talk about kindness and the difference between somebody who's genuinely a kind person and someone who's nice but tries to portray themselves as being kind. Why I bring that up is because a lot of times when it comes to holding ourselves accountable, we like to hold ourselves accountable in a victim mentality state of mind, in the sense of saying, I'm just too nice, I'm just too giving, I just do so much. How this correlates with the strong friend label is the fact that a lot of times when you hear strong friends speak on the issues that they have being a strong friend, is that they will speak about how they're so giving and they do so much for people and they so strong and they're always the giver and never the taker. And this is the issue that they'll speak on. That's it. They'll speak on it in the sense of being a victim. So let's break this down, because I feel like there's a lot of manipulation in this and there's not a lot of transparency and truth in this situation. And I'm going to go back to when I first said a lot of times our issues and the things that we have are a result of our decisions and the things that we do, and we don't hold ourselves accountable. So the strong friend is going to say, hey, I hold myself accountable because I'm just too giving and I always like to give and help and people lean on me. What they're not going to discuss and talk about is the fact of why they do it. Why do you feel like you have to be the strong friend? Who put you in that position? Who told you you had to be the friend to endure it all? Now, on that video I saw, the young lady did have some self-awareness enough to say that, yeah, I struggle with some abandonment issues. Therefore, I do tend to want to be in that position of helping and giving and being the strong friend because I feel like that's what I have to do in order to appease people, have friends, have people around me, have people to like me, have people to love me. That, my dear, is an example of codependency. That's a type of codependency. Now, where I appreciate and I am grateful at the fact that she acknowledged that, I still feel like she still didn't unpack some really deep, maybe even dark stuff about her codependency. Ever notice that the strong friend will complain about why she has to be so strong to everybody else, to social media, maybe to her journal, but she won't say it to the people in her lives directly. She won't confront them, or he won't confront them. Could it possibly be that there are people in the strong friend's life who allows there to be an open line of communication where they do say, hey, how are you today? How are you feeling today? What's been going on with you? And they refuse to express themselves. They refuse to allow you to see a level of vulnerability with them so that you can then allow them to be, or you can be the shoulder for them to cry on. You can allow them to cry on your shoulder. Now, I only say this from some experiences in my life where I've had people who deem themselves as the strong friend or have themselves together indirectly imply that they somehow have been so giving and giving and giving to me in nature, and they felt used. Now, the thing about that is, as I recall, in this type of friendship or relationship that I had, and it was a friendship, I recall many a days sitting on the phone as well, listening to them vent. I recall many of days me giving said advice and trying to help them out. However, I do recall when I gave my advice, it wasn't received. I do recall when I spoke on and gave solutions, it wasn't received. And they actually shut down. And they actually didn't tell me as much anymore. They kind of distanced themselves in regards to discussing said issues anymore. See, let's unpack the strong friend and let's take out some deep, maybe dark things that they don't want to acknowledge. And it's not to make them look bad. It's not to say they're a bad person. We all have our we all have our things. And these things, when we uproot it, are going to help us kind of look more into ourselves to see what we've internalized and suppressed versus what we need to actually release, let go, unpack, and deal with, right? So, the strong friend sits in the position of being a strong friend because that's how they want to be seen. Some people choose to sit in those positions because sitting in the position of feeling strong gives them a certain superiority. It makes them feel like their life is together. They have everything intact. They are the friend that's more together than the rest of the friends. And they like sitting in that position because it feeds their insecurity. Let's talk about the fact that they're unwilling to share and be vulnerable with other friends because they feel it's a sign of weakness. And they don't want other said friends to see their weakness because that may tamper or dilute the delusion that they want to have of their superiority over the rest of their friends. Let's talk about the fact that it is a form of manipulation to want to be in this position to fill yourself up due to your insecurities, and then to try to guilt trip people around you about the position that you chose to be in and that you chose to play. Because at any moment in time, you can open your mouth and say, hey, I understand you want to tell me what's going on with you, but I have things going on right now, and I just don't have the level of energy and the mental capacity to actually take in what you have to say to me right now. I don't have it in me. I need someone to listen to me, because to say that is actually stronger. To be able to be vulnerable and speak your truth and be honest and honor your feelings to someone, that's stronger than sitting there with your mouth closed, not saying a word, holding it all in because you are trying to drive a certain ego, a certain image, a certain appearance to feed your superiority. I'm done.